got a chance to see the new Shudder film, Ash, with Eiza Gonzalez and Aaron Paul. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zanka, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And getting back on set soon. I guess we have our Tech Scout on Monday. We have a read-through on Tuesday. It's getting there. In the meantime, if you'd like to read anything that I've written, you can check out my books and my comics at Amazon.com and just type in my name, Frank Zanka. You'll see all my stuff come up, including my sci-fi quadrilogy, Destiny Aurora, which was also made into a board game and RPG. It's also on Audible. These are all on Kindle, as well as hard copy. And my fantasy book, Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch. And I have a horror book on there called The Awakening, and I also have a Holocaust biography called Escape from Berlin. I'm also working on a new book called The Battle for the Ruby Slippers, and I also have a comic that we're going to be putting up on Kickstarter called Fairy Tales of Terror. All looking pretty good. So let's talk about Eiza Gonzalez in this new sci-fi horror film by Flying Lotus. So Flying Lotus is a composer. He's some kind of a music guy. I've never heard of him. I've never seen any movies that he has composed. He's only directed one other thing for the most part, aside from like shorts. And this was a short that he actually did because it was a movie that had several shorts together to make a film. He did one segment of the film, so he didn't actually direct the full film. And I don't know, I'm not really against the directing more here than I am against the writing. It's kind of like Woman in the Yard. The directing's not great. Thankfully, the actors carried the director as far as I'm concerned. So this is written by Johnny Remler. He has 3 episodes of television to his name. That's all he's ever written. So this is his first feature. And as far as I'm concerned, his first horror feature. And it's, meant to be self-contained. It actually only has 6 actors in the whole movie, of which you only see the majority of them in flashbacks. Eiza Gonzalez is in the film more than anyone else. And then Aaron Paul would be second. Everybody else is just, splattered in there. So it takes place mostly on this planet that they're trying to terraform, and they're in a bunker, right? So that's it. They only had to build the bunker. It was shot in New Zealand, and Lord knows why. You could have shot this anywhere. With a limited amount of special effects. There are some special effects. But not a lot. You only see the ship a couple of times. You see outside quite a bit. But I think they built part of that. And the majority, I would say a good 70% of the film takes place on the indoors in this set. So the research I did said the movie was $40 million. That's got to be wrong. I can't see where $40 million is. To build the set, maybe $1 million. Maybe $1 million in special effects. Maybe. And let's say Eiza Gonzalez, which I'm saying this is probably high, maybe $2 million. Aaron Paul, maybe $2 million. And I think that's high on both of them. If they probably both got like $500,000 as far as I'm concerned. That neither one of them can carry a film on their own. Look at Ministry of Ungenemy Warfare. She's in that. That didn't do anything. So, and Aaron Paul, constantly is doing these low-budget films. That's why this number's got to be wrong. And then the rest of the production, maybe $3-4 million on a high end. So if this movie is more than $10-12 million, I'm shocked. Especially when the director hasn't directed anything. So he's not expensive. The writer's never written anything. He's not expensive. And then the director is composing. So that wasn't expensive. He probably said, I'm going to compose the music. And so he's probably discounted himself just to be able to write through the music. And the music was, as far as I'm concerned, the music was the weakest thing in the entire film. The composing. And all I have on my computer is film soundtracks. That's all I have. I don't have anything else. I don't have anybody speaking or doing lyrics anywhere on my computer. It's because I write to that stuff. And I would never download. Like there's some movies that are bad that have really good soundtrack. And this is just not one of them. This is just not one of them. He is not talented in the least. Where there's stuff where there should be no music and then build up to music, he's got music throughout. He's not good. And the fact that he was directing on top of that, nobody was telling him, no, you shouldn't be doing it that way. So, and I've worked with specifically a good composer. I really like the composer that I've worked with for many years already. His name is Charles Henry Avalanche. He did the stuff for Almanara. He did my stuff for Six Gun. He saved Six Gun as far as I'm concerned. He's done some other horror, some other sci-fi stuff that the music is far better than the movie. Far better. So we have a director that's pretty much unqualified for this. We have a writer that is definitely unqualified for this. And then we have some really good actors, So, and the effects are decent. I can't say anything negative about the effects. The effects are good. So Flying Lotus, he's also acting in the film as well, though he does have a smaller role. And then we have the guy from Wu Assassins and the last Snake Eyes movie from G.I. Joe, Iko Uwais. That guy's not an actor. His acting's horrible, man. You only put him in a movie if you want him to fight. That's it. You don't have him speak. So then you have Kate Elliott as Clark. Made many very small roles. She's fine. And then the other guy that plays Kevin is fine too. Nothing great, just fine. Because they don't have anything to work with. They're just there. And basically in flashbacks. So we start out with Eiza Gonzalez waking up, blood everywhere, all over the station. And she's trying to piece together what happened. She doesn't remember. She keeps finding bodies all over the place. Then she goes outside. So she leaves the bunker to go onto an alien planet. And she passes a guy or at least a suit. I think it's a guy that it looks like the face is exploded, which it ends up being. So there's a body in there, but it's got a suit on with a glass head plate. And she walks right by it. She doesn't take it saying, I might need a suit to be out here. So, of course, after a few minutes, she starts to suffocate. She's got to run back inside. So right there, the woman's stupid. They should never... If you have your main character, you want them to be smart. So she ends up, using her brains later on, of course. But you can't introduce the character to us in that fashion. So it drags quite a bit in the middle. I thought the movie was like an hour and 45 minutes. That's what I thought it was. But I looked it up, and it's only an hour and 35 minutes. It's 95 minutes. So, because I would have cut out at like 20 minutes of this, but if you cut out 20 minutes, you don't have a movie anymore. So anyway, she's trying to figure out how these people died on the thing, and then Aaron Paul shows up because he was on the space station above. He came down to figure out what was going on because he couldn't get a hold of anybody. and then they start to try to figure things out. She has this gash in her head, which becomes very important later on, and she's got to figure out they're losing oxygen, so she has to close up the hatch for that, and stuff like that. And I kept wondering why she was doing everything, but that was answered later on as well. So it's a mix between Alien, Event Horizon. It steals from everything. So this is not an original movie. It literally steals from everything, and it tries to go in the horror route as well. There is some gore and stuff like that, especially towards the end. I actually kind of liked the end, which actually turns out to be more like The Thing. So it's, again, it borrows from everywhere, and so it isn't an original script. The thing drags. It really tries to maintain a mystery while, trying to get to that 95 minutes. I really feel like the movie is trying to fit into 95 minutes. It doesn't have a plot for 95 minutes. That's the problem. Instead of introducing a second plot, it just stays there and meanders. So they're trying to terraform this planet. That's the whole thing. They're trying to terraform a planet, and it's like they don't have that's the other problem, is that they say they don't have the technology for it, and then they find the technology for it on the planet. I don't know. It's not extremely cohesive. It does make more sense towards the end of the movie. It does kind of answer some of the questions that have happened prior. But again, it's still 15, 20 minutes too long. This should have been like 80 minutes. In and out, 80 minutes. It would have been tighter if you had cut 15 minutes off this thing. And with 80 minutes, it still would have been feature material, but I guess there are some people that think that, it's 80 minutes long, so it's not really a feature, it's not long enough for my money or whatever. But here's the other problem. And there was no marketing for this film at all. The only thing I can think of is that Shudder threw it out there because they have a contract with AMC, which they do. But it did absolutely no marketing. I didn't even see it go international. There was no international numbers at all. It's about out of the theater already, which is why I rushed to see it. And a Tuesday night must be discounted because there were more cars in the parking lot than there were this weekend. But it only made $1 million. That's it. $1 million. And according to the received research I did, again, it cost $40. And I think it's more like 10 or 12. And I think Shudder just threw it out there to see if it would make anything in the theater and didn't do any marketing with it at all, because any money that they make would have been found money. And I think it's just going to show up on Shudder, and I think that was it. That's why I can't imagine Shudder throwing $40 million into a movie like this. So anyway, unfortunately, it's not really. There's some stuff I liked, but the movie has so many problems, man. So I like Sci-Fi with Eiza Gonzalez and Aaron Paul. Well, I'm there, and yeah, I was gonna go see it no matter what. But because on Rotten Tomatoes, the actual reviewers liked it, but the audience score is bad. So I guess it depends on how you feel about horror sci-fi, I guess. But overall, it's an average film. It's not really below average because it does have some good stuff to it. I would have liked to have seen if a different director had gotten hold of this, and if a different writer had come in to maybe fix the script instead of, because it does feel like this was like a second draft and some problems weren't fixed. They just kind of shot it. So that's how I kind of feel about it. It's definitely I normally say go out and see independent film, but for this one, just wait till it's on Shudder. It's not Even though Eiza Gonzalez carried this thing on her back. I mean, she carried this thing on her back. If it wasn't for her performance, this would have been unwatchable. But she carried this thing. With her performance, she carried it. So with that, I got to give her kudos. So the best thing about this movie is her. If you're a fan of Eiza Gonzalez, you won't be disappointed because she did an amazing job. In fact, the whole beginning, there's no dialogue. It's just purely her reaction to everything that's going on. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to say this is about, a 5. Maybe a 5.5. That's about it. Mostly because of the acting and the effects. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, I want to tell a story. So I walked in there, and I got there a little late, and because it was 9 o'clock or whatever else, I didn't leave till late, unfortunately, because I was getting some stuff done. But anyway, I had to go to the bathroom. I try to go to the bathroom before the movie starts, or else, I have to go in the middle, and I don't want to do that. So I was going to the bathroom, and this woman stops me, and she says, "Here's my friend." And she puts her arm around me. I'm like, "I don't know you, lady. What's going on? I don't know. Who are you?" And she says, "I'm the one that you yelled at for having their phone on." This is how well I'm known in this theater. But she says, "Everybody says you're a nice guy, so I wanted to say hi." She says, "We went to see this movie, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "I'm Frank, how you doing?" We hugged, everything else. So I went from a battle to good friends with Eva. I don't know. Life is so weird sometimes, man. So weird. But anyway, we chatted for a little while, but I was late to my movie, so I had to go. But very interesting. So I made a new friend that, I had yelled at. Now I'm just waiting for the couple that I almost got arrested for. Anyway, that's it for me. Oh, there is a post-credit sequence in the movie, by the way. So wait for the initial credits to end, and you'll see the post-credit sequence. All right, give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you can't subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. And share this video out there so people can see my review on this film. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Remember to go to Amazon.com and put my name into it, and you see some of the stuff that I've written. Have a great week. Thank you again for watching, and you have an awesome, awesome week. Bye-bye.